Hey, what's up, guys? My name's John. Welcome to Daily Theology. I wanted to do an update on Pastor Tim Stevens in Canada. This is his wife, Raquel Stevens. And recently he was offered the opportunity to post bail, but he denied that request because they wanted to limit the conditions that they could meet in. And he was not going to do that because he didn't want to restrict the amount of people that could gather. So I think his church has officially been closed and shuttered to prevent people from meeting there. So that shows you the level that the government is willing to go to prevent people from gathering as a church. Now, people will say, well, what about other religions and other public gatherings? Well, there are plenty of public spaces and public stores that people are already gathering in that are blowing these numbers out of the water. But secondly, this is not about other people's rights to gather. This is where the constitutions and legal rights break down. It's about the true and living God, and people were made to worship the true and living God, the triune God of the Bible alone. Jesus Christ is fully God and fully man alone. And so other religions and idolatry, not really applicable. We're not for equal treatment. You know, God is for himself and his glory. And I know that's contrary to what you'll hear a lot of Christians say, but the core issue here is we as believers must worship God, and we need to gather to preach the gospel. And so some people are saying, well, Dan Sudfeld said, well, some people are saying, you know, are they doing this for attention? He said, I don't know some of the others, but I know Tim Stevens and James Coates, and their preaching is biblical, and they are men of the word. And I would agree from that kind of statement, because we want to be with these pastors, not against them. If your first reaction is to side with the government, you may be on the wrong team. When Nero was persecuting Christians, Peter wrote the book of 1 Peter. In chapter 1, he says, when you're reviled, don't let them, look at your conduct and blame that for doing evil. But when we're preaching the gospel, we're going to face opposition. And the point here is that they can't point out bad things in you when they try to blame you or try to discredit you. So we don't want to have our conduct be not fitting of the gospel. But also you have to remember that your conduct is not the gospel. No one thinks that highly of you that your conduct can save them. It is only the perfect work of Christ that can save them, and his subsequent atoning death, his burial and resurrection. On the cross, he bore the wrath of God for the sins of the people of God. He physically died and rose on the third day. He is risen and reigning. And so remember to pray for these pastors. This is a great example of a pastor that will not flee when the wolves pursue him, but the hired hand will flee, but the true shepherd will not. And so thank God for this example, and pray for these pastors. Also remember to hammer that like button, like the 95 Theses. If you haven't yet, come on, what are you doing? We're trying to get to 500 subscribers, and then 1,000, and then beyond there. But ultimately, we just want to reach people with the gospel. Hopefully, you can be one of those people. Thank you, and God bless.